Okay, so before I start this video, because this is going to be a very touchy topic, and there's literally no way for me to give my honest thoughts and opinions on my feelings without it coming off as being, well, racist. Just gonna say it how it is. If you listen to the entirety of my video and watch my other videos about living in a share house, as well as check out my blog where I talk about living in a share house, you'll understand what I'm saying better. But forget about me. People that don't want to listen, don't like me, or that are super sensitive, no matter what I say, there's not going to be any justification for it. So ignore me. You can easily do a Google search and see what other foreigners have to say as far as their complaints about living in a share house, and you will see that it lines up with what I'm saying. There's no way to go about it without it sounding wrong, but before you look at it that way, as I say several times inside of my video, any time that it comes to, living anywhere in Asia, like regardless of what country, black people are treated awful by them. But of course, if we do the same thing back and so-called stereotype them or call out the things that aggravate us, we're seen as the bad guys. This is not a matter of me trying to get revenge and hit them back for hitting me type thing, childish like games. But, I'm going to call it out how it is. People have no problem with pointing out things that Americans allegedly do, which I believe I talk about in this video. I haven't started editing it yet. But yeah, I believe, people do that more often than I believe is true. I say this in this video if I recall, but literally anytime somebody sees a white guy doing something that they don't like that's not quote unquote Japanese, it's instantly pinned on Americans, which is very interesting because the majority of not Americans, the majority of foreigners living in Japan are not American citizens. And even with the, amount of, how can I put it, native English speakers, while we do make up the majority of them here in that sense, such as teachers, etc., most of the Americans that are living here as residents is because they're on basis. They're not here long term. Now, when I say long term, I don't mean long term as in they have a visa, because fine, when it comes to that, out of the white people here, yes, they do make up the majority of them. But that's alone, not collectively. So if I recall, I believe there's well over, I think, 58,000 US citizens living in the entirety of Japan, if I recall. It might be more than that. I have to look back at the statistic on that, but don't quote me on that one. You can search it yourself. But that's just us alone. That's not including all of Europe and Australia. So when you add up all of those numbers, it's more than the 58,000 so-called U.S. citizens that are here. And mind you, out of that 58,000, that's including every race of foreigners, not just white people. So within that 58,000, you're talking about black people, mixed race people, Asians, Latinos, including myself because I'm black, so I'd be inside that category. So I really think it's unfair. And again, as a native English speaker and an American myself, I speak from experience. Most of the foreigners that I interact with, see on a daily basis, are definitely not American. So we always, take the butt for things that go wrong here when people want to give their stereotypical image of the so-called bad Gaijin, bad foreigner type person. But with that said, I'm not trying to defend my country, but rather I'm saying we have no issue with throwing the US under the bus. But if I do it to China, then it's seen as being racist and bad, wrong, whatever. Well, F that crap. I'm not busy trying to be politically correct with you. I'm going to speak my mind and say exactly how I feel. The real reason why people don't like living in the share house, it comes down to the fact that people are aggravated with living with Chinese people. It's difficult. Their culture is so different, their manners are so different, their language is so different, and, well, to put it bluntly, it's kind of annoying. It sucks to say I have Chinese friends. The majority of foreigners in Japan are Chinese, if I recall, but it doesn't change the fact that, yeah, they make life hard. And with that said, there's a lot of racist rules towards them, which I feel sorry for them about, because a lot of places here simply flat out will not rent to Chinese people, even if they are married to a Japanese person, even if they were born and raised here. They will discriminate against you solely based off of your name, based off of the fact that you can speak Chinese, based off of, your ancestry, whatever. I do not agree with or support those type of things, but I will be real with you and say that there are some things that I don't like on a cultural level. I am not crazy to the point where I'd be like, oh, I hate Chinese people, I hate all whatever. I'm not the type of person, but I will also be real. There are certain nationalities that do things overall culturally that are, well, annoying. I've said for myself about my own country, the thing that I hate about Americans is you cannot talk to them about anything. Americans are extremely argumentative. like extremely. They believe in the bully mentality. Everybody has to agree with you or you cannot be friends with them. You cannot have a rational discussion. Prime example is go to any video about politics, and specifically on my channel, it instantly gets full of people, losing their crap because it's like, oh, like, you believe in this and I don't support that. You have a different political opinion, you have a different religion, whatever the case is. People can't handle the fact that somebody else feels, thinks, or believes differently than themselves. And that's toxic, that's problematic. Well, just as that's so, I find other things to be annoying about other countries, other cultures too. So I'll go back to my country because, again, to make things fair, let me talk about my own so the PC police doesn't come after me. I also hate the fact that whenever, Americans do go overseas, instead of trying to assimilate and blend in, they want everybody to accept them, agree with them, do everything their way. And of course, I can relate to this to some degree, but there are some things that I believe that you should be willing to sacrifice, compromise, understand. This is not your country, not your place, not your whatever. For example, there's a lot of foreigners, specifically Americans, that enjoy using the so-called Gaijin card. I've literally had whole group chat discussions where I got into it with my friends even recently, in which they were bragging about, using the Gaijin card to get away with crap. I'll make another video about that specific argument that I got into with my so-called friends. I'm not going to do it in this video. I'm just giving you examples. I'm aware of the doo-doo from my own country that stinks. But again, I'm just saying, like, hey, let's have a level, fair playing ground. We could talk about crap that Americans do. Well, then I could talk about crap that Chinese people do. We're all foreigners. We're all here in Japan. That's that. And again, they have no problem crapping on me, my race, my country. I could do the same thing back. They're the majority of the world, both by race and by nationality. So, sorry, but I don't feel bad. There you have it. Don't like what I have to say. Don't like the way I think. Don't like my opinions. Don't watch. Simple as that. I'm done. Hey, what's up? It's Comic 95, the Savior. So, I'm like so stressed out right now. I'm gonna have to make 2 separate videos because I wanted to talk about the date that just got through going on. But now there's a new issue. So I'm trying to talk a little bit quieter even though I'm still loud. But yeah, my roommate, she really like just pissed me the fuck off. So in one sense, I don't blame her because she's technically right. So hear me out. Let me turn this down a little bit, my AC. So it's not a matter of her being wrong per se, but the irony in it, because if you guys remember the stuff that I was talking about. So this bitch next door, the Chinese bitch, she complained to the house about there being hair left on the floor by the sink. Clearly she's talking about me. I was just at the sink. That's why my hair is flat right now. Excuse my flakes. I promise you it's from product. I just got through, I was wearing a wig and I took pictures for Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat. I don't know if I'm going to upload on Snapchat or not, but you get what I'm saying. So yeah, just got through doing that, and she saw me while I was getting ready there, and so she just walked to the bathroom, and then literally moments later, maybe about 30 minutes or an hour into me like recording videos, because I did tons of videos trying to like get the right one for different things, I get an email with them, saying anonymously that somebody had complained about that. And so there was another email before with somebody complaining about somebody cutting their hair at the sink, which I don't know if somebody saw me doing it or if they just assumed it because there was a lot of hair in the sink. And I'm not gonna lie, I should have cleaned it out, but in my defense, the reason why I hadn't been is these bitches don't wash their hands, they don't use soap, and the house is fucking dirty, so why the hell should I care? So yes, I'm not gonna lie, that was stupid on my end. I shouldn't have done that, and it wasn't my real hair, it was the hair extension. But whatever, I let that go. And the reason why I started coming upstairs to handle my business, because at first I was using strictly the downstairs area, there seems to be an endless amount of spiders there because it's on the first floor. So I started coming up here because I've never seen a spider up here at the sink, and all of the girls use this one. So I figured like if there is a bug situation, somebody else would kill it. Well, anyway, yeah. So I'm not gonna lie, I should be cleaning up after myself, but here goes the thing. It's become like a tit for tat thing almost, except, how can I say, it wasn't that way at first. So I've been bitching to you all here on Patreon, complaining about the stuff these Chinese girls do. Somebody here had COVID. The girl next door, I'm sure the other girls do too, because I've heard them talk a little bit before. She talks loudly on her phone, endlessly, non-stop, and she looks older, but I can't tell. It's really weird and it's hard to say. There's no way to say this being politically correct without coming off as racist, but I'm just gonna say it how it is. Chinese and Korean people think they blend in with Japanese people, but they really don't. They wear completely different styles and their facial features look very different. So there's a really racist post you can look at. I'm not gonna bother to share it here because I'm not Asian, so I don't feel comfortable doing that, but it basically explains to you the breakdown, how to tell them apart. Long story short, you could similarly do this with black people too. I had a black person get mad in my comments before about this, indirectly mad, but it's like, girl, like, let's stop playing games here. Yes, we get it, it's a phenotype, but let's also be real. The reason why we have categories, phenotypes, whatever, it's not saying everyone. We already know, sweetheart, there's exceptions to the rule. But generally speaking, most people fall into these categories. For example, let's be real. The percentage of people with lighter skin, loose curls, light colored eyes, etc. living on the continent of Africa is significantly small in comparison to the people that are living in Africa that have, dark brown to dark skin. Let's be real. Same thing goes for people with, short versus long hair. How many people that are living in Africa, not mixed race, have long hair? Have long, loose curls at that. Okay. Yes, you can find someone, you can talk about some random tribe that makes up, 1% of the country. Let's be real here and stop playing PC games. Just like in the US, there's a ton of people that are mixed race or that have high percentage, of European blood inside of them, etc. So, with that said, I can even use my nieces and nephews and be like, oh, well, they have blue eyes and blonde hair. Okay, but let's keep it real, though. While black people can't have these things, how many black people naturally have blonde hair and blue eyes? Straight hair. Does it exist? Yes. Does it exist on a high enough scale for me to pretend like that's the norm? No. In fact, if we started using people that look like that, which people already get upset about that, including myself to begin with, then people would get mad and be like, oh, that doesn't look like us, etc. I have some of y'all inside my comment sections, getting mad at me, talking about how I'm not black or whatever. I could tell you my mama was white. My mom would laugh at that. Both of my parents are most certainly black. Like, don't play with me. So I'm a black American, like most black Americans. Yes, of course, I have a high amount of European descent, blood, whatever, and a little bit of Asian inside there. But most black people do. In fact, I have a video addressing my ancestry. I took a DNA test. It was my wasn't my first YouTube video? I think it was the first one. I deleted my second one, which was the video talking about Sonic related stuff, but that's another story. So now my phone is blowing up, but yeah. Anyway, I forgot I was even getting there with you all. I was talking about I had to look back at my video. Dang, my brain, everything just like escaped me. I was talking about, phenotypes, generalizations. So yeah, I, of course, can tell what race they are, and I can also understand their accents. I can hear their words, voices. I have friends that are Chinese. I have friends that are Korean, etc. I swear this is not a video to hate or attack them, but I gotta keep it real. When Americans do stuff, people have no problem calling them out. In fact, kind of irritates me anytime people, and this is coming from a black person, so I really shouldn't care about this because it doesn't really apply to me, but because we're the same nationality, it does, and I do take offense by it. Anytime people see a white person do anything, people instantly assume that it's an American. And it's like, okay, I can raise my hand and speak from personal experience. The majority of foreigners that I've met here have not been American. So you guys think that anytime you hear somebody speak in English that has blonde hair, blue eyes, whatever, that it's a white guy. I mean, not a white guy, but of course he's a white guy, but that he's specifically an American white guy. And it's like, I can tell you firsthand that I can count the Americans that I interact with on a day-to-day basis. Most of the people y'all be bitching about how, they think they're the stuff and that girls all over them and they take advantage of their little privilege, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yes, they're people of European descent, but they're not Americans. So yeah, stop putting that on us. So it's not that type of situation. I can clearly both physically see that these people are not Japanese. And two, of course, this girl's right next door to me. I can hear her speaking in Chinese. So I was literally just talking to my mom the other day. I was saving this girl's soul because I was thinking to myself, like, she's probably older than me for all I know, but let's say she's the same age as me or younger than me. I think the reason why she's here, because there's a pandemic going on, it must be because she called herself escaping from China, which I don't blame you, and or two, she can't get a normal place. She works some sort of part-time job, I'm sure, because she has a weird random off day on the week. I think she's off on Tuesdays or something. But yeah, like she leaves at about a little bit after 10, and she comes home like sometime like around 7:30, like 8ish o'clock or whatever. So I think she works from about 11 to 7 or something like that. So, long story short, I noticed she's here because she has to be here. I'm here temporarily to get my bag together and to get, things together at my job, but I can work full time. I can also work as a teacher and make, 2-3 times the amount what this bitch is making. But anyway, even though she irritates the crap out of me and she's dirty and loud and every other bad trait you could think of, I called myself not being petty because I didn't want to risk getting kicked out by complaining about her. I didn't want to make things hard for myself by, being, a petty person or whatever to come in and then start bitching about everything. So I let it go. But after she just sent that message, I lost it. I said everything on my mind. I talked about the Chinese girls, and I use Chinese. I talked about how they don't wash their hands when they come inside the house from being outside. They don't wash their hands when coming out the bathroom. They don't use soap. One of them had COVID here recently, like less than a month ago. In fact, it's been exactly a month ago now. They never told us who it was, but I think it was her because I could have swore I heard like luggage and stuff being moved out of there and her room being deep cleaned or whatever. And allegedly the person was supposed to have been staying at some hotel. That was not the case because whoever it was, they came back inside the house the next day. I'm pretty sure the day or two after. So they never paid for a PCR test in which they're supposed to have the government contact you, and you're supposed to get that for free, which that never came. I took my own test through my company, but like just little things like that. So I'm thinking like, oh, okay, so we're playing that game, then fine, I'm gonna let them know everything. I get annoyed with them leaving the microwave open. She spilled, I'm pretty sure it was her because there's no reason for anybody else to be on this side of the hallway, some sort of like spicy ramen, whatever type stuff, because the soup was like red in color on the floor, didn't clean it up. And there's always hairs and crap by the sink. I won't lie, since I started doing my hair there, because obviously I'm a black girl, my hair is dry and I wear extensions, etc. I mean, look at me. Yeah, like there has been more hair there than normal. So I'm not gonna lie, yes, I should be cleaning it up behind myself. But it's like the fact that you were so petty, like go ahead and do something like that. And I've done other little things. Like see, this bitch is talking loudly right now. Y'all can't hear her though. Of course, it would get quiet. But anyway, yeah, like when I saw that she had a package, I gave her little slips, like just little things like that. And so it's like, oh, okay. So I did all of that crap for you. I've been avoiding complaining about you. I gave you, let you know that, the mail carrier that ever tried to deliver your stuff, I put that out for you, and so just leave it in the mailbox. But oh, okay, the same is not going to be returned for me. Gotcha, bitch. Instantly sent them an email complaining about everything from the microwave to the soup being spilled on the floor to them not washing their hands, everything. So I'm not holding back. So I'm not gonna lie, it really pissed me off, and now I'm like 2 seconds of being like, fuck it, I want to leave this house. But I'm trying to relax myself because realistically I'm tired of like leaving a trail of unpaid rent everywhere, and I'm trying to keep this place because I have, even though there is bugs and crap here, at least I have a private room which makes it easy for me to film videos and whatnot for the time being. But I'm honestly super stressed out staying inside of here, and now after like dealing with their petty crap with any little thing you have to snitch and tell, just hair, come on, seriously. Like, if it's that serious to you and you know who did it, just ask me. You could say nicely, hey, like, can you please, clean up your hair behind yourself? Like, it clogs the sink, or I don't want to track, my house shoes on the floor, whatever type of thing. Just do that then. But fine, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, you don't want to have the confrontation with me because you're afraid of me. You don't know what I'm going to do. But then if that's the case, how are you going to bitch about what I'm doing when you break all the rules? This bitch be on the phone literally all night. She stays on the phone from like about 8 or 9 o'clock, like right now, and doesn't get off the phone until like 3, 4 in the morning. Then she sleeps all throughout the day. And then, of course, the time that you want to go to sleep, she's talking loudly in Chinese on the phone. And in case I don't know, Chinese, I swear, like, it has to be the loudest, most annoying language in the world. I ain't being PC with y'all. I'm saying it exactly how it is. It's annoying as fuck. And that's the reason why Japanese people can't stand when they talk and get on the train and stuff like that. Because they literally, I don't even think it's possible to speak in Chinese quietly. Can you? Because I know it's a very tonal language. But I'm thinking like, shoot, like I get mad when my American friends or English speaking friends, period, or other non-native speakers get on the train and speak in English, because I can even hear how much louder it is and how, inappropriate the tone of volume is. But when they speak, damn, they sound like, they preaching a sermon or something. And they don't give two F's about how annoying they sound to other people. And it's really funny too, because even when they speak in Japanese, you can still hear that same loudness, annoying, whatever type crap. So their accent is really thick. So even when she speaks in Japanese, it irritates me, because sometimes she'll be on the phone and she'll switch between using Chinese and Japanese. But I'm like, shoot, like you chose the right one. Because I'll play the game back with you. But you chose the wrong one, because I'm not the one to do that shit with. I literally was talking to my mom on the phone a couple of weeks ago about how I've been, brushing stuff off, because I was thinking like, for them, this is probably the only place they can really get, because nobody wants to rent Chinese people. Nobody rents to them or Koreans, and especially not Chinese people. They are the least literally, they are the least trusted people here. People treat Chinese people, I said this before, like how they treated black people like back in the 20s or 30s. It's not even comparable to today in America. They treat them like shit, and it sucks, because I know not everybody is like that. I have Chinese friends. Swear to God, I'm not legitimately racist, but I gotta, say the truth goes on. Like I said before, I've had complaints about, my issues with Americans. My biggest issue with them, which I see some of y'all in my comment section proving that point too, is that Americans come to Japan, have no interest in assimilating, and they want everybody to basically, worship them because they're Americans, and they brag about the fact they have no interest in blending in or whatever. And it's like, then why go abroad then if your goal is just to be ignorant? Now don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be PC with y'all. Y'all can read between the lines and get what I'm saying. I'm not saying to ignore issues. For example, if somebody's racist towards you or touching you, then fine, be American if that's what you mean. But like little rules, like following the rules as far as how they want you to dress, or covering your tattoo, or bowing, or using manners, or apologizing for stuff that you probably wouldn't say sorry for, or being okay with little things that you wouldn't be okay with, or not speaking your mind when it's not appropriate by Japanese culture standards. Like, I don't get people that do that literally falls into the category of being ugly American. Like, if it's not hurting you, other people, excuse me, I have to scratch my leg. If it's not hurting you, other people, risking someone's life, requiring you to lie, do something morally wrong, it ain't finna kill you to follow somebody's rules. Somebody asking you to wear some clothes, somebody asking you to shut your mouth and just go along with the group, it's okay. So I feel like there's two different extremes. I'm not gonna get into that for this video, but Americans are stubborn. They think everything that they do, everything in their culture is right. And so don't get me wrong, it might seem like that from watching my channel. I talk about the things that are problematic in Japan, but there's definitely tons of things where I'm like, I wish Americans did this. For example, don't get me wrong, I've come across some bitchy people, but I can count the times I've had people absolutely lose their shit on me. In America, you can't make no mistakes. You bump into somebody, you walk too close to them, and this is pre-COVID stuff I'm talking about. People lose their crap on you. I had tons of situations as a minor, just being a teenager, where I bumped into somebody, brushed past them, just little mistakes. Instead of people being understanding, like, oh, I've done it before too. I've had people try to fight me. And so here in Japan, I've had people like give me the stink eye. I've had a guy go off me before, but that's pretty much it. In the US, no, like people make a big deal over every little thing. So there's that, and then the fact that I like that in Japan, like, people aren't so selfish. They're taught to think about other people. So there needs to be some balance. I think that Americans are too selfish, too independent minded, whereas I think Japanese people think too much in a group to the point where they don't have their own opinions or beliefs and lack the ability to form their own. So there's two different extremes going on. But to be honest, I feel like in one sense I kind of admire it here more so. So like even the fact that you can talk about, touchy subjects. For example, I can't talk about, you can't talk about sexuality and gender. You can't talk about politics, anything, because it instantly makes people upset. People don't understand the fact that you don't run around spending your life hating on people because they're gay. Like, well, what do you get out of that? People don't like the fact that you say, I actually don't hate Republicans. There's some truth to what they have to say. That makes people mad. You'll start a war in the US. You can't say that stuff that I just got through saying. People lose their crap. You can't have opinions on the vaccine that's going on right now. If you don't agree with what everybody's saying, people go on a witch hunt for you. So I like that in Japan, you can have opinions and people don't, try to kill you for it. They try to understand you. And at best, if they really think you're crazy, they be like, really? Like, that's how you feel? Like, just leave it alone. Okay, you're a little crazy. She's stupid. So that's it. They're not going to lose their crap and you be like, oh my God, I'm done talking to you. We can't be friends. How dare you not agree with me on this topic? They let that crap go. So just giving you an example right there. So I ain't finna go into all of that in this video. All I wanted to say in a nutshell was, it just made me upset because I caught myself trying to spare this bitch and she didn't take 2 seconds. Literally, I just got through doing my hair instantly this bitch went and snitched on me. So I'm like, oh, okay. And I know it was her, because the first time I was wondering, like, who could have saw me cutting my hair? Because I was very specific. How did they know that I cut it and that it wasn't, just me, brushing my hair? Because nobody uses that sink. So I'm like, who saw that? Like, were they watching on the camera? Because there is a camera on the first floor. But now that I was right there at the sink, I know it was that heifer, because there's nobody over there on that side has come over here on the side of the hall. And she just passed me by. And then to have the audacity to bitch about that. And I'm like, you came out that bathroom and didn't even wash your damn hands. And that's another ironic part too. I'm sorry, but I gotta give it to Chinese people on here. Y'all are the ones who started this whole damn pandemic. The worst one that this world has ever seen. And not only are y'all being prejudiced and racist towards my people in your country, y'all bring that crap outside of it too. And so I'm sorry, I don't support killing or harassing people because they're Asian, but I gotta keep it real. It's hard for me to be supportive. I said this before. It's really hard for me to be supportive of their little movements and whatnot, because for starts, they piggybacking off of the whole Black Lives Matter thing. And secondly, look at how crappy y'all treat us. And so I'm not trying to use my hair example as, a part of that or whatever, but I'm just speaking in general. They have no mercy on you. They have no problem being prejudiced and racist towards you. They have no problem speaking their mind towards you. They treat us, in fact, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like the girl inside this house have been treating me like I'm the one who had, the virus or whatever, which made it very ironic, because I'm thinking, like, not only are y'all the ones who started it, this country hates y'all guts. So I have no idea why they chose to come here. And so people always ask me, like, oh, what's it like being in Japan as a black woman? I'm like, I'm not bothered. I forget that I'm black 99% of the time, because nobody refers to me by my color. People have a general fear of foreigners as a whole, but the people here that get treated like black people are Chinese people and even Korean people. Korean people are like biracial black people in the US, and Chinese people get treated like dark-skinned black people in the US back in the day. That is what it's like being here. So if that makes any sense to you, if it don't, watch my videos on racism in Japan. So yeah, it just really makes me so angry, because I'm thinking, like, I call myself sparing this bitch, and she ain't wait 2 seconds. The moment she saw me do something she didn't like, felt like I was dirty and I cleaned up behind myself, she went and told. And I'm thinking, like, I've been complaining since day one when I came here, which have shit to do with me. Nothing about hair or whatever else. I've been complaining since day one. Let that shit go. I've been here for over a month now. And as soon as I start wearing those long extensions, I start brushing out my hair. Oh, she didn't wait. So I'm like, oh, okay, I see how it is now. Y'all want to play that game? Fine. I'm going to clean up behind myself, and I'm going to bitch about everything then from now on. So I find it ironic that the sa-xross didn't send out no mass email instantly after I messaged them, but they sure did do it, as soon as she messaged them, because I literally had only been, maybe it'd been like an hour or so after I was done. Mass email telling everybody, that there was a complaint from someone in the house. Second email that we've gotten about, hair being left around, the sink area. And so again, I'm not denying that was my fault. I should have cleaned up behind myself. That's not the issue. The issue is, the pot calling the, kettle black type thing. Excuse me. How are you going to bitch about me breaking the rules when you break all of them? And plus, my hair ain't gonna fucking bother anybody. It can be vacuumed up. You are talking loudly on the phone, and people have work, school, whatever in the morning, and you are completely blissfully unaware. And on top of that, that's actually one of the house rules. There is no rule inside the house telling you not to leave, hair on the floor. But there is a clear rule. It's even put up on the wall saying that it's, worth getting kicked out over. She talks loudly, screaming, laughing. She got the ugliest voice in the world, but I ain't even finna lie. I ain't never heard a Chinese accent that sounded, cute. But whatever. We ain't finna get into that. Y'all gonna kill me in the comments, but I don't give 2 fucks. Like I said, they say, think, and do racist shit all the time, and I've heard her bitch about something about the US before on the phone. I couldn't understand it because she was speaking in Chinese, but I heard her specifically say American before, so I'm pretty sure she's talking about me. So that just aggravates me so much. I'm thinking, like, sorry about that, I accidentally cut my video, but yeah, I was just thinking, like, you got a lot of nerve. You're in a country and people hate your guts, and you gonna try to make an enemy out of me, a black American woman? Bitch, I will be your worst nightmare. It took everything in my ass to calm down, because I started thinking about evil shit to do to her. I was thinking, like, ooh, I want to take your toothbrush and brush my ass with it, or fart on your shit. But I was like, no, like, don't do anything evil, wicked like that, because you wouldn't want somebody to do that to you. But that's exactly why I don't leave my stuff. In fact, they shouldn't even have it where there's space to leave your stuff like that anymore, because this fucking pandemic, this corona, and these girls are Chinese on top of that. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all.
Fuck that, politically correct stuff. I don't know how long they've been here in Japan. And on top of that, once again, when we are the ones who are thought to have something, they don't hesitate to discriminate, be prejudiced, group us all together, pretend like we came fresh off the boat from Africa. They were doing it right now, even though they're the ones who started this corona crap. Kicking black people out of their house and telling them they can't go to McDonald's or restaurant. And I get it, these black people are more than likely from Africa. But you get what I'm saying? The irony in that, the disrespect. And this is where I have my problem with y'all. I swear I had to wake up. Because when I was a little teenager, I went through my little fetishy phase for Asians and whatnot. I woke the fuck up when I became an adult and I saw the crap that they were doing to us. How can you fetishize after them? Y'all don't want to call it a fetish because I know how that goes. Everybody wants to believe, oh, I just prefer these people. Bitch, shut the fuck up. No, you don't. It's a fetish, god damn it. Excuse my language. I'm keeping it real with you. Quit playing games. You cannot like an entire race without it being a fetish. In fact, y'all the same hoes to be, like ooh and oh, look, when he says he likes chocolate girls, whatever type stuff. And so I'll make a whole nother video talking about that appropriate ways to compliment somebody that's black. But I feel scared about even having children here. But thank God I'm not in China. But I swear, the more time I spend there, I'm like, I made the right decision. Because Japan got its own problems too. But I'm very glad I didn't go to China. Because I actually thought about China before Japan. When I was actually a freshman in high school, I did an entire website. We made a website and we were talking about like what school we wanted to go to and like travel, whatever. And I made a whole thing talking about Beijing, China. And when I was in, was it junior high school or was it high school? I think it was high school. After playing Sleeping Dogs, I really wanted to go to Hong Kong. I know I'm gonna hurt y'all feelings, but I'm gonna keep it real. Hong Kong is basically China, and this whole little situation right now with the Chinese government controlling them kind of reminds you the fact that unfortunately they are. You can argue with them and say whatever you want to. I understand, but it is what it is. Yes, I went there. So like I said, I don't speak politically correct on this channel. I get it. I acknowledge it as being its own separate country, but whenever it comes to real political issues, who gets to control what Hong Kong does? That's right, China. They're the puppet master. Is China wrong for it? Yep, agree 1,000%. So, yeah. My biggest thing ain't even just a matter of where they're from. I hate that they seem to have, they're like the Americans of Asia. They are completely unaware of how annoying the shit they do is. And they don't want to listen to advice. They don't give two Fs. And it really sucks because unlike Americans, I won't say they assimilate because they do quite the opposite when it comes to, the way that they live. But when it comes to language, they take learning Japanese very seriously. And I'll give them props in that. They're very studious when they are here. They try to get their lives together, their stuff together, whatever. But man, like when it comes to living with them, you see why people don't want to rent with them. You see why people don't want to work with them. You see why people don't want to date them. You come across profiles all the time, people saying that they don't date Chinese people. They don't want to be friends with them, talking about how they hate them, whatever. You see that more than you see, stuff about Koreans, but they be going in on Chinese people. And of course, I don't support people that are racist like that. I don't even date people like that. If you have something written inside your profile, which sucks because I've come across guys that were really cute and then they have something like, oh, like I don't date Chinese people. I'm like, whatever. And despite all the crap I'm saying about them that's irritating me, if you don't like that, you might as well not like me either. That's how I see it. So like I said, I was really trying to spare them, which I should tell you how I feel about them. I'm trying to, be nice to them. But nope, they don't return that same favor for you. So, and I kind of got a feeling that she seemed like a little bit disgusted with me when I first came in here because she didn't speak to me at all. And even when she's walking by, it seems like she's trying to avoid being seen in the mirror by me. Like she don't want to, just I can't explain it. I just have a bad vibe from her that I get. And apparently I'm right. So yeah, it's like how you gonna be talking on the phone super loud all times of night, including right now? Because it's not even like she's just talking, because it's one thing if I could just hear her voice. She is literally screaming on the phone, being dramatic when she talks. And I'm thinking who the fuck is talking to this little ugly nerdy ass bitch at all times a day? And so I don't know how old she is, but this is what I was talking about, how you could tell them apart. Chinese people, they normally wear these big old round glasses. Their head shape looks different. Their noses look different. The way that they wear their makeup is different. You can tell the difference between a Chinese person from a Japanese person. Simply, very easy. And it's really funny too, because you see this on Instagram a lot too. Whenever one of them are biracial, they love playing up on the side that they're Japanese. And it's like, yeah, you're as Japanese as I am, I don't know, a Cameroonian or something. Like, bitch, you Chinese. So I see it all the time. Like on YouTube, for example, there be people that are from Australia or the US, and their parents are both, two different, mixes of being Chinese and Japanese, and they'll try to play up on the fact, oh, I'm Japanese. So even they realize that's the preferred, race, whatever type, which is sad. I want to make a video on that too, but it's whatever. So I'm done bitching about that. This video can go on forever, but it just makes me mad that you call yourself sparing somebody and they turn around and bite you in the ass. So again, let me clarify for the holes is going to be in my comments. First of all, no, I'm not racist. Yes, I know what I said was 100% sounded racist, prejudice, whatever. Like I said, I'm being politically correct with you all. They do bogus, petty crap towards us. And we're taught that if you do it back, oh, you're a bad person. Whatever type thing, like, oh, like, stop Asian hate. They're the ones who are the initial, original carry on racist prejudice shit in black communities. I could tell y'all motherfuckers ain't spent a day living in Asia as a black person or a day living around them in the US, because man, let me tell you, they stereotype the shit out of you. They treat you like you're subhuman. And I said this before and I'm gonna say it again. I am so grateful to God that this virus started with Asians and not black people, because they treated us like shit during the Ebola situation. Imagine if Ebola got out of control like how COVID did. See, they can't take the heat, but they can dish it. And thankfully for us, it pretty much stayed contained within Africa.
Let me also add one more thing. Another benefit that Asians got that nobody wants to talk about with this whole Stop Asian Hate thing is the fact that they got to benefit off of their already existent privilege with their, the preferred race overall, worldwide, when it comes to dating. A lot of men, if not most men, have not a like, but a fetish for Asian women. So much so that they don't care about what their nationality is, as long as the girl is preferably East Asian, and if not East Asian passing. And on a second note, if not East Asian passing, at least somebody from, South Asia, specifically a place like the Philippines, etc. With that said, people are more understanding and wanting to be sympathetic towards them, because a lot of people nowadays have a fetish thanks to things like K-pop, J-pop, K-dramas, J-dramas, and yes, anime, manga, and of course, pornographic content. And with that said, I feel like they also got off easy even with this whole pandemic thing. Whereas with black people, they are not viewed as sexually attractive to the majority of the world. And even when they are looked at in a sexual way, it's strictly in that way. We're seen as people that are fun to get off at, or get off on and look at sexually online. But when it comes to befriending us, loving us, protecting us, caring about us, wanting to marry us, we are at the bottom of, whatever you want to call it, that scale. And with that said, I cannot imagine what we would be going through right now as black people if we actually were the originators of this pandemic. So with that said, I'm sorry, I do not feel sorry for them at all. Because even with this pandemic going on, who's taking the heat for it? We keep talking about the fact, oh, look at these people dying or whatever. No. Who's taking the heat for it in their day-to-day life? Us. Because we as black people are already being, avoided, ignored, treated like we have some sort of disease that causes our skin to be dark and our noses to be big and lips to be swollen or something. That's what they already treat it like. We're already seen as clown-like dirty figures. And now, thanks to this pandemic, it's been used as an added excuse to avoid us, ignore us, to not rent to us, to not want to work with us, to not want to sit next to us, to not want to serve us. But oh yes, I should feel sorry for you. You all have the audacity as Asian people, Chinese specifically, Chinese and Korean, come into our neighborhoods, open up shops, while talking crap about us, while we're giving you money and keeping you and your business alive. Imagine if we as black people did that in their countries. They would lose their crap if we were speaking in English and insulting them and talking down on them. I live in Asia. I've been here for the past 5 years. You want to know what I've never seen? I've worked for black people before that have their own businesses here in Japan. I have never, ever, ever at any point in time seen any of my coworkers nor the management, even when the Japanese customer was being unreasonable, rude, disrespectful. I've never seen them talk in English behind their back, in front of their face, anything. They've always been treated with respect, but they do not do the same thing for us. So for those of you that have your little fetish and you're so obsessed with them, or maybe you even have a family with them, because one day I will too, please get your head out of their ass and be your own person and remember who you are as a black person. I'm not trying to teach you to hate them too, but rather to realize they don't play fair. They want you to worship them, take care of them, defend them, and they piggyback off of, black movements. But they are the quietest ones, if not invisible, when we need their help, their love, and their support. It was very ironic seeing people that, were for Trump, political crap, whatever, that were going off and complaining about Black Lives Matter and talk about how protesters spreading the virus, whatever. Oh, but conveniently, when it's time for your Stop the Hate movement, now you're not talking about how these Asians don't have jobs and how they need to get back to work and how this is a waste of time and a waste of money and oh my God, all this yellow people gathering is going to spread the virus. Nope, I didn't hear shit about that. It didn't become a political thing. It was a social issue. But anytime black people speak their mind, anytime black people want to defend themselves, anytime we speak, sense into other people, they throw it into the politics category because it's the easiest way to divide. If you make something political, you will instantly split everybody. When you make something social, people understand it better. Nobody's going to argue about mental health. Yes, some people do. I get it, especially some extreme right-wing people, etc. But generally speaking, we can all agree that mental health exists, that people have depression, that, there are issues that people go through that make them want to end their lives. People aren't going to argue with that. But if you make things like Black Lives Matter, and you focus on the aim that police are bad type thing, it becomes a political issue. Now it's, are you a Republican or are you a Democrat? Pick your side type thing. They did not do that with the Stop Asian Hate movement. It stayed neutral. You want to know what they did? They were able to pass laws, get almost seemingly unanimous support. No one argued with it. No one made new, jokes about their little chant or slogan, which people have disrespected the crap out of Black Lives Matter. Between all lives matter to, other joking sayings, this life matter, this whatever, making like comedic like skits and stuff out of it and joking sayings and slogans. How disrespectful. We could never do that to them because it will instantly become a social issue. It will be on the news. People complain about it, talk down on it, but with black people, nope, everything's just a joke. Everything's, libtards type thing. So whatever, not going to get into that, but it just really makes me upset that people don't even realize y'all got it off easy. Yes, your situation affected the whole world. Yes, you all were dying over it. But how do you think this would have been if it started in Africa or with Black Americans? Because they treated it like it did. But imagine if it really did. Ooh, we'd be in some serious trouble. That's all I have to say. So, I'm done. Let's get back to the video.
Their nasty little bat disease from their disgusting ass foreign food allegedly went worldwide. And we sitting over here feeling sympathetic for them. Okay, interesting. So, again, don't get me wrong, I'm not in support of hating on them. I know it's not every person's fault, but I ain't finna sit here and lie to you. Most of them do feel that way. Most of them do feel a certain little funny way about us. They don't normally express it or say it. They're very passive, unlike Americans and Europeans and, Australians. Australians might as well just be Europeans. I need to quit playing. Y'all are literally just descendants of bad British people. So... oh my God, I'm done. Y'all finna murder me, and that's cool. I don't give a F. So, I said what I had to say. I said what everybody else is afraid to say. But it's like little things like this make me not feel so bad anymore. Because, like I said, I'm busy trying to hold back how I really feel, hold back my complaints because I want to get nobody in trouble, rock the boat. She didn't hesitate. She was like, this bitch leaving her nasty, fake, synthetic hair by the sink. I'm gonna go snitch. I'm not gonna talk to you directly. I'm gonna go straight to them and try to get your ass kicked out of here. Okay, fine. Two can play at that game. How much you want to bet they're not gonna do it? Because they probably got a Chinese person answering that email, and her feelings probably hurt whoever read it. But I was like, nope, I gotta say what nationality these bitches are. Everybody, like, see, even like little nasty sound effect type thing. I shouldn't have mimicked her because she could probably hear me, but it's like her voice just, it drives me fucking crazy, like crazy. Living with them makes you realize like how people get in arguments with their neighbor. I understand that article now of that dude that like went and did he kill his neighbor or whatever he did to them for being loud. She's one of those bitches, like for real, like damn. All right, I'm done. I'm done complaining. Yeah, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna put this on Patreon probably. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this video, but you know, I think I might put it together with the video that I did with like giving a little house tour and like complaining about, you know, share houses and what it's like living, you know, with Chinese roommates, etc. Which really sucks because, like I said, I swear there's no nice way to put this. It sounds really racist. Sounds like racist propaganda, whatever. I don't truly wish any harm on them, but I gotta, you know, be real. Like I said, they say bad stuff about us all the time. They treat us badly. And then it's like, all right, I'm over here walking on eggshells trying to avoid hurting your feelings or getting you kicked out. You don't hesitate when you get the chance to do it to me. When you have the chance to be racist or discriminate towards us, they take it. When you have the chance to get us in trouble, to point the finger, they take it. Even when it's not our fault. Y'all invented this crap. And y'all quick point the finger at black people. They're the problem. They're the ones spreading it. So, and it's not just Chinese people. I'm specifically talking about it because I'm here living with them. But that's why don't nobody trust y'all, want to work with y'all, want to pay y'all decent wages. That's why you running away from China right now, probably too. So, got a lot of nerve. So, alright, I'm done. I'll enjoy living with my annoying neighbor. So, all I can do is pray for them and try to tune her out. Because, I'm big mad. I literally had to record this video to calm my black ass down. And in fact, after making this video, I feel more calm and I'm like, you know what? Stay here. You're not going to move again. You're not being realistic. I would love to leave because this place is driving me crazy. But realistically, I can't go anywhere. I'm trapped here. So, but yeah, I can't wait until I can leave because I'm literally 2 seconds from just going back to Osaka. I'm so sick of this. So, I'm done. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry for those of you that are Chinese, Korean, or whatever that I offended, but I had to keep it real. I'm tired of dealing with, you know, the loud talking, the not washing hands, the farting and burping in the kitchen, the leaving the microwave open and letting bugs crawl inside of there type stuff, the not cleaning the sink behind themselves. And before I started doing that, them leaving their hair everywhere, I can't take it. So gotta say it how it is. Whatever. Like I said, they don't hesitate. When they call themselves upset, they mad at white people, you know, whatever. They quick. Everything is Americans' fault. Everything, you know, gets blamed on black people. They have no problem. But of course, when I do it back, now I'm gonna be the bad guy for doing it. I'm saying it how it is. I'm saying what everybody else is afraid to say because everybody wants to be politically correct and avoid hurting feelings. There. I said it. Fight me, attack me. Had the same reaction when I was talking about how, you know, Asians look alike type thing. Like, okay. And when they see us, they say the same thing. In fact, you can even talk to people here and they'll say that they can't tell Europeans apart. They can't tell black people apart, etc. They think that we all look the same. They either guess that you're an American or they guess that you're from Africa when you're black. It's that simple. They don't even think about other countries. And generally the way that they guess that too is based off of your attractiveness, how long your hair is, what you're wearing, etc. It's very stereotypical stuff. But of course, if I say the fact, you know, stating the obvious, a whole race of people that have the exact same skin complexion, the exact same hair color, the exact same eye shape. Yes, I have to pretend like you guys look so vastly different. At least people of my race, we come in varying shades of brown. We come in varying eye colors. We come in varying textures of curly hair. And we typically wear our hair differently. Whether it's wearing a wig, extensions, wearing it natural, you know, having an afro, having it braided, etc. Y'all cannot say the same thing. So don't play games with me. I don't do that little politically correct crap. You a damn lie if you come to Japan. You pretend like I can line up everybody inside that station side by side, and you will find tons of people with the exact same hairstyle, same height, similar looking outfit. You cannot do that with black people. Even if we all have braids, they're done completely differently. Don't play with me. And so again, I acknowledge the fact that, you know, y'all think the same thing. Y'all see us all together. All you see is, you know, nigger one and nigger two, thing one, thing two type style. But okay, I said the same thing back and it's like, oh, that's racist, that's whatever. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Asians make up the majority of the world, especially Chinese people. Like this heifer next door. They're the majority of the world. The fuck, they ain't no damn minorities. Everybody want to play on that people of color POC card type thing when it's convenient. Everybody piggybacks off of black people. Same thing goes to this whole cultural appropriation thing. People love to claim that after black people started talking about it. You ain't hear shit from no other race about cultural appropriation until we started talking about real issues. Everybody wants to be oppressed like us. Everybody wants to steal our ideas, steal our fashion, have the same movements that we do. We can't have nothing to ourselves, even oppression. Y'all want that too. So, all right, officially done. I'm done with my rant. Had to complain. Share houses are great for saving money. Do not get me wrong. They're also great for making friends when they don't have a large percentage of Chinese and even Korean people living there, but specifically Chinese, because I don't have no issues with Koreans inside of a house, in my opinion, other than, of course, the fact that, gotta keep it real, Japanese people do this too. Asians just don't wash their hands. I don't know why they don't like to wash their hands. I have no idea why, but I don't know if they do that same microwave thing, but Chinese people definitely do. And I don't think they do the same belching and farting thing, like how they do, and putting their feet up on tables, etc. And leaving food inside the sink. So I think that's just a Chinese thing. And I swear it's not just one person. It's literally been every place that I've stayed at, various girls. So I even did a Google search on that, like, is that a thing? And from what I saw, it was. Other people had to say the same thing. So that's it. I'm done. Basically, like I said, save money living here, make friends more easily, but this is not a place you want to stay in long term as an adult. It will drive you crazy because their manners are just ridiculously bad. Their voices are just ridiculously annoying, and automatically you're going to be dealing with more germs in a filthier place. And the irony is, they will see you as the dirty one. It's not just a black versus Chinese thing. My white, European friend had the same problem when I was at sa-xross. Her roommates were spraying down her stuff with air freshener and Lysol, basically trying to say that she was dirty when she wasn't at home. We ain't finna get into that in this video, so I'm done. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, get mad, bitch at me in the comments, engage with my video. I don't care. Leave a dislike. I said it how it was. I said what everybody else is afraid to say. I'm not gonna dance around and be politically correct because in the video I'm made to hate and or attack them, but I gotta say it how it is. The main reason why I don't like share houses is because of the Chinese people that live there. Nobody wants to deal with roommates farting and belting everywhere. Nobody wants to deal with people that leave cabinets and doors open, etc. People that don't clean the shower afterwards. I think they pee in the shower too, but that's another story. Just all kind of like little stuff like that. They don't clean up behind themselves. And then the loudness of them talking late at night, all times of day. They're not apologetic either. So they're extremely rude. I can't stand that shit. As of course other races have, the ability to do that too. I've definitely stayed with, rude Americans, loud European people. Yes, that all exists. Every race, whatever. But trust me, when you lived in Japan, you stayed inside a share house, and you dealt with them, it's a different kind of rude, a different kind of loud, a different kind of dirty. So whatever. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And yeah, I hope you're watching another video. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. Argue me in the comments. Tell me what your experience has been. Like I said, I can say for myself, I hang out with my American friends. I find myself asking them, like, dang, can y'all lower y'all voice? I don't realize how loud y'all are. But then when I hang out, I won't say hang out, but when I'm around Chinese people, then I'm like, oh, I thought my friends were loud. Okay. I can still hear her talking. God, I want her to shut up so bad. Alright, I'm gonna muscle, through whatever. I can't wait till I'm done living here. You're probably not gonna see this video until I'm out of this house anyway. But, yep, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.